Hello, my name is Olurotimi Osha. Today is July the 16th, 2026. Just this morning, my mom wrote me, she reached out to me, seeking to know the status of the prosecution of Howard University professor Jide Iwarere, the fabulist, who, fabricated information to Montgomery County Police and Montgomery County District Court, conspiring with Judge BBM Berry, whom Montgomery County Police said knows Jide Iwarere well, so they're closely related. Jide Iwarere, I've done videos explaining how Howard University professor Jide Iwarere impersonated himself, misrepresented himself as my uncle, and misrepresented himself as acting on behalf of my family, claiming I had no family, and then fabricated information that I threatened to harm him so he could file a fabricated emergency petition. In order to support that false emergency valuation petition, Jide Iwarere used a fictitious fabricated attack on one Girma Shumi, my neighbor, who is apparently an illegal alien. He can't speak a word of English, so I don't know how he got in here. At the time, this was May 14, 2023, he and Jide Iwarere assaulted me, right? Jide Iwarere came assaulting me, saying he wanted to take me to a hospital. So they assaulted me with one other younger man. So Girma Shumi, from investigations, that's an Ethiopian name. He can't speak a word of English. I know this because after I was assaulted by Montgomery County Police on May 16, 2023, I was injured severely, like shot with a projectile, tased multiple times, and then I was locked up. I was detained after I was treated for my injuries. I found out Girma Shumi, while I was in hospital, filed a fabricated peace order claiming I assaulted him, I kidnapped him and assaulted him. So I saw it was so obviously it was a fabrication. So I went to court, filed he got an ex parte peace order. So it was an ex parte peace order done without me because I was wrongfully detained. I was detained by Montgomery County Police, and so I went out after I was released. I went to the judge, who was a pleasant man, and the judge said I should report it to Montgomery County Police to have him immediately arrested. And I could go to the state attorney's office to have him prosecuted, for them to file criminal charges against him. I reported it to Montgomery County Police, one Robert Sheehan. He said that would be, she said, but I should go and report it to the state attorney's office, which I did. The state attorney's office filed criminal charges against Girma Shumi and Jide Iwarere, but apparently the state attorney's office under John McCarthy, a corrupt state attorney in Montgomery County, Maryland, continues to suppress the prosecution. Now, Girma Shumi, as I said, while in court, after I filed a motion to rehear, I found that Girma Shumi could not speak a word of English. He had to use a translator, right? And this is not bashing on immigrants who can't speak English. But if you can't speak English, that means you're not a citizen, right? You can't be a naturalized citizen because apparently you have to take the citizenship test. It's administered in English, right? And your test of English language is one of the tests that you undergo for citizenship, right? So Girma Shumi is, he's an immigrant, can't speak a word of English. But what was in it for him? Why would Girma Shumi attack somebody he doesn't know, right? He first of all assaulted me, attempted to kidnap me with Jide Iwarere, right? Then why would he now fabricate documents, information, right? File a false peace order in a court and give a false police statement. Later on, I would find the statements he made to the police, right? Charles Drengwitz came on the scene. I spoke with him, and Charles Drengwitz fabricated a police report claiming that I assaulted Girma Shumi, that I, all sorts of. Then I took his phone because Girma Shumi lied that I took his phone. All a fabrication, right? All work of fiction. Charles Drengwitz would then, his badge number 1143, he subsequently resigned because when I was released, of course, I went to Montgomery County government. I went everywhere I could report to. I reported it to the Department of Justice, the FBI. This was reported to the Police Accountability Board. I reported to Congress. I went to the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. I reported to it in Nigeria. My family was now looking for how they could pursue legal action against Jide Iwarere, because apparently Jide Iwarere would have benefited from $300,000 life insurance from paid out by the Navy had I been killed, right? He was my emergency contact for work. The other thing is, Jide Iwarere, while I was locked up, then tried to get an attorney he paid, Steve Mercer, to obtain power of attorney over me with using Judge James Bonifant, right, who's retired now. So a bunch of these people are retired. Charles Drengwitz, who filed a fabricated incident report on May 14, 2023 regarding what happened. He'd spoken with my friend. My friend spoke with him, told him I had just been assaulted by my Ethiopian neighbor, right? But he fabricated an incident report saying I assaulted Girma Shumi, seized his phone, all this stuff, and you could see the inconsistencies in the statements in what exactly happened. What Girma Shumi fabricated in his peace order report that was, handed to me by a sheriff's deputy when I was wrongfully detained, and I was prevented from going to defend myself, from contesting it, even though I immediately called the district of court that, hey, this is a fabrication. They said, okay, the process is to arrest him, right? If somebody, because that's perjury, if somebody commits perjury, makes a false statement to the police, that's perjury. But none of that happened, right? None of that happened. I was wrongfully detained for about 450 days, right? And then kept under house arrest for a year. I was forced to lose my job, my federal government job that I have a property interest in. I can always have that reinstated because I reported to Congress, but it shows there was a racket. So that was because there was a racket with law enforcement, government officials. And the reason I'm discussing this, and I'm going to read later on from the news, the reports, there is actually a racket of law enforcement. In June, the Department of Justice indicted at least 4 police chiefs in Louisiana for a racket in immigration fraud, right? So they were filing fabricated police reports, which they were selling, right? They were selling for thousands of dollars to supply non-US citizens with fabricated police reports saying they had been victims of crime. So the non-citizens would then use this for an immigration benefit. There's a special type of visa for victims of violence in America, right? It's called the U visa it's called the U visa for non-immigrant status. And that, if once you obtain that U visa, you are on your pathway to getting a green card and then citizenship. So I've done a video discussing the U visa, for non-immigrants, right? That's what they initially are. But it's once they've had that visa for a few years, right? Then they can convert to green cards, right? To green card holders. That's lawful permanent residency. And after 5 years, then they can obtain U.S. citizenship. So that's the purpose why Girma Shumi and Jide Iwarere, they got the immigrant I'd never spoken with, right? The non-citizen Girma Shumi, who is an illegal alien, is a criminal because he assaulted me. I had witnesses. My friend spoke with the police on that day. She's written an affidavit. But there's a racket, like I said, with law enforcement. So Charles Drengwitz is involved in a racket. He's since retired. He retired. The chief of police, Marcus Jones, retired. So they're involved in a racket. Damarcus Coleman filed a fabricated charge statement, right? So there's a racket that they have, and I'm going to do another video and read directly from the Department of Justice's statement on the police chiefs in Louisiana who pled guilty to this U visa immigration fraud. So basically, the U visa is, I've done a video, like I said, it's for non-citizens, right? Non-citizens in America. It doesn't, regardless of their status, if if they're non-citizens, if they've been victims of a violent crime, some kind of crime. It can be sexual assault, victims of rape. It can be armed robbery, victims of armed robbery, victim of an assault, and they report it to law enforcement. And if they haven't reported it to law enforcement, they are going to report it. They're going to cooperate with law enforcement to have it investigated and prosecuted, right? So their cooperation, and then law enforcement certifies that they have been victims, because police have to certify it, that they have been victims of this crime, and then they can file with the Department of Homeland Security for this U visa status, right? So it makes them lawful and gives them a work permit for a certain period of time, say probably like 4 years or so. And after a certain period of time, they're now eligible to file for a green card if they haven't committed crimes or whatever. And that's a path to citizenship. So this was what Girma Shumi was angling for, in likelihood, and which Jide Iwarere was conspiring with him to do. And law enforcement, such as rogue law enforcement like Sergeant Charles Drengwitz of Montgomery County, Maryland, who filed a fabricated incident report, he and his colleague. He has since retired. Of course, all of this was superintended under the supervision of Montgomery County Police Chief at the time, Marcus Jones. He since retired in 2024 as well. But like I said, I reported all of this to the appropriate authorities. I reported it to Department of Homeland Security, reported it to the Department of Justice, the FBI. The FBI spoke with me several times over this. I reported it to, they keep referring it back to the Internal Affairs Division of Montgomery County, which is crooked, right? They have boilerplate. Reported it to the United Nations Office of Human Rights. The investigator spoke with me. I reported it to, Montgomery County has its Human Rights Council of Office as well, and Montgomery County, the Montgomery County government. I reported to them. Of course, they keep ordering all these investigations. I reported it to the United States Congress. So I'm going to do another video and read directly from this, the arrests and the guilty plea bargains of the police chiefs, the corrupt police chiefs in Louisiana involved in this U visa immigration racket, right? In which they file fabricated police reports of violent crimes for the benefit of non-citizens, aliens who pay them, right? They had a middleman, they pay the businessman. It's a racket so that they can get immigration benefits, they can get the U visa. My name's Olurotimi Osha. I'm hoping to get justice. It's been long, it's been over 3 years. Howard University professor Jide Iwarere is still enjoying the benefit of his job, even though he's a criminal. He committed crimes, but he has the protection of the racket, the crooked Montgomery County State Attorney John McCarthy, and possibly other people higher up, including Judge James Bonifant, who was the Circuit Administrative Judge of Montgomery County. That's the equivalent of Chief Judge of Montgomery County. He's since retired in March, but I've still not received justice. I'll keep you posted. Thank you.